Welcome to the American Business Podcast. I am Kevin Deveci, your host. I am welcoming you episode 143. We are in season 5 in the American Business Podcast. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. As you know, we have a great partnership with missionstatements.com, and here is the quote of the day. When you are good at something, you'll tell everyone. When you are great at something, they'll tell you. Great. Well, we have a great guest in the American Business Podcast. Let's invite our guest to our virtual stage and let's get the conversation started. Hello, Anthony. Welcome to the American Business Podcast.
Hey, Kev. How you doing?
Good. Thank you very much. How is your week going so far?
Good. New York got hit with a big snowstorm, so we're all digging out from that. But other than that, glad to be here, and thank you for the invite.
Of course, it's my pleasure. I'm glad you join us today. Well, we have a lot to cover. Why don't we get started?
Sure.
If that's okay, as a start.
Dive right in.
Thank you. As a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our audience and to our listeners?
Sure. I'm Tony Lucidi. I am the CEO of Lucidi Technical Solutions. We're a small consulting firm trying to help businesses, small businesses to medium businesses, utilize their existing technology stack to help improve their overall performance, processes, and reduce costs.
Also, just an important note for our audience to know. Also, Anthony and I, we also run podcasts. Two guys, all things tech podcasts, and we cover subjects about technology, change management, and other related subjects. So, I also have the pleasure of working very close with Anthony.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely.
As well in over the years. Yes, absolutely. It's a pleasure. Tony, how did you get started? How your career journey has unfolded over the years?
Okay, sure. I don't have what I'll call the atypical entrepreneur career journey. All right. So I've been with big businesses since I started. I was in Northrop Grumman, which started out as Grumman, for 14 years. Left there, went to Estee Lauder for 18 years, right? So most of my career was in big business. Estee Lauder had a downsizing effort and offered me a severance package that I could not refuse. So I took the severance package and then just said, okay, what is my next goal? I was at that time, I believe I was, about 55 at the time. So I'm like, this is a real bad thing to happen, right? Here I am, 55 years old, gonna start off new. So I decided to start my own business. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's been one of the best things I think I've ever done in my entire life. I've always felt a calling to own my own business, just never was forced to do it. I remember as a young age, 13, 14 years old, I had my bedroom, and in my bedroom, I had a desk. My desk looked like a businessman's desk. I had my own phone. I had a Rolodex. I had the blotter. I had the whole thing. So I was always in my head thinking of owning my own business. I just didn't know the where and how. And thank God I was presented, and here I am today.
How is your day-to-day work experience? What are the exciting and challenging parts of your work on daily basis?
Day to day, when you are a small business like me and you have multiple clients, the day-to-day work experience is taking the hat and going from client A to client B, right? So you have to be very organized. You have to make the client feel as if you didn't just get off of meeting A and going into meeting B. You have to be prepared for these meetings. So there's a lot of preparation in my world, because there's a lot of smaller clients and you're having multiple meetings during the day. You also have to manage your time appropriately too. I have to make sure each of my clients gets the designated time that I have to give to them. So it's really about organization. In my opinion, my day-to-day stuff is really heavy organization.
What is the secret of your success?
That's a good question. I would say honesty. I said the secret of my success is honesty. When I come to the table with a client, I don't do a sales pitch. Most of my clients are referral. And most of my clients are recurring work. So client A comes in, I do a job for them, they hook me up. They want a second job, the third job, the fourth job, the fifth job. What my clients like about what I do is I'm an honest, open businessman. I also have the innate ability, and it's, pat myself on the back. I can explain complicated technical things in a very non-technical fashion. I've always been able to do that. It's one of the biggest calling cards I've had in my career, even in big business. When I was working at Estee Lauder, one of the things they loved was I could sit in front of a client, business, right? So Estee Lauder had the technical side and we had the business side. I can sit in front of a business client and they were like, oh, you just explained so much to me so easily. Whereas most tech people, they talk in acronyms, they talk in wild ideologies, and they assume that the world knows what they're talking about. So I would say that would be the biggest thing I can do for my clients. And it sets a comfort tone with them. Once they know that I can do that, then when it gets to complicated situations and I explain it, even if they don't have a formal understanding, they still can say, all right, well, I trust what he's can do here.
Well, how is the state of your industry that you can tell us about?
Consulting is rough. Consulting for now is, it's a challenge. 2025 started to slow down. 2026 was a continuation of that slowdown. Most people think, oh, budgets start up in 2026 and the money starts rolling in. In my world, small to medium businesses, it doesn't work that way. So there is a grind that you have to do every day. And it's a challenge. The challenge of, this contract that I'm on could be 30, 60, or a 90-day contract, right? Most contracts aren't long-term contracts when you're in the small business world. So there's this constant looking back and making sure that I have something else coming down the pipe, while also being able to complete what I already have. So current state is what I would just identify as challenging. You have to go, there's a lot more hunting of business, a lot of following up, a lot of going back to past businesses, re-engaging, and things of that nature.
Let's talk about a very popular subject, AI. How do you see the impact of AI on business nowadays?
Oof. So AI is very impactful. The problem is most people don't know how to utilize AI. The big boys are having no problem doing it because they have the money, they have the funds, and they have the data. The small to medium-sized businesses want to use it, but they really don't know how to use it. They're utilizing it mostly in marketing and in things of that nature. And you and we've had multiple conversations about this. So where I see the AI trend is people are using it, but they don't have the strategy in place. Many people don't understand how things like ChatGPT work and things like that. There are cloud-based solutions. So if you don't have a strategy that says you have to be careful about what you put into these things, you can turn around and say, take this Excel worksheet and make it into a sales presentation. Well, there could be proprietary data in that Excel worksheet, which you've now just given to ChatGPT, which is now putting it into their cloud solution. You've now just potentially violated. So I think in small to medium businesses, they got to start with a strategy, figure out what tools they want to use, whether it be ChatGPT, whether it be Gemini, whether it be other tools. And I think that's the main piece now, is to try to first get the strategy and then decide where you're going to apply it.
Based on your professional experience, what are the best marketing practices for the highest ROI nowadays?
Best marketing practices. That's a good one. I would say multi-channel, right? You were talking marketing, right? So if you're gonna market appropriately, and you know this, right? Because you're in the podcast world, you have to have multi-channel,
Yes.
So where are you marketing, right? So do I market on TikTok? No, I don't. My company does. My businesses don't reside in TikTok, but if I had a younger audience, I'd be marketing there. So I think the multi-channel discussion is something that you need to have, because I think what happens is a lot of companies say, we're just going to social media, we're going to just market, and they market digitally different than they would market non-digitally in traditional formats, right? So if I'm marketing on, let's say, magazine and print, let's say I'm doing print marketing, they have a better handle on that target audience than they do with the digital. And the digital is free, so it makes it a lot easier. So the thought process just buckshot the whole thing, and I think that's a bad ROI, because what happens is you get muted results, right? So you could do a buckshot approach and say, all right, we're going to target in Facebook, but what's that target audience look like? Well, we're going to target parents, and then we're going to go to TikTok, and we're going to target youngsters, or we're going to do Instagram. So I think the multi-channel approach is the good approach. But again, if you're not thinking it through, or you don't have the proper partners or the proper strategy, I think the ROI starts to diminish dramatically.
How would you define leadership, and what are the great leadership qualities a good leader must have?
That's a good one. Um, hmm. So qualities of a good leader. Well, humility, that's number one. Ego, gotta leave that at the door. I've seen too many leaders. I've been pulled into situations where leaders have called me to ask for help, and in the end, the conclusion it's the leader that's the problem. And it's just hard. How do you deliver that news, right? That, well, all right, well, guess what? You are
That's a
the
tough
problem.
one. That's a tough
That's a
one.
tough. That is a tough one, especially if you're trying to keep a client. No, but I think humility is one. I took a course in leadership in college, and I just remember one statement that this person said, and it stuck with me, and it's something that I use on a daily basis. He gets up in front of the class, he starts talking about leadership, and he says, I'll tell you my job. My job is to get you this pencil. This is my job, to make sure you have this pencil so you can do your job. And that struck me, right? Because go and get the pencil yourself. It's in the pencil closet. What's the big deal? No, from his perspective, if I have to hand deliver this pencil to you, I will hand deliver this, because this is going to make you a productive worker for me. You're going to be a productive resource. My job is to make your job easy. My job is to guide you. My job is to mentor you. I think mentoring is a lost art. I think barking orders has become a prevalent way of doing leadership, and I disagree with that completely. I don't think that's a good approach. So leadership, you have to be able to mentor, and you have to have humility. You got to be able to say, I don't care if I own the company. If Kevin comes up with a better idea, I'm going to give Kevin every possibility to get that idea across to me. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to look at that idea and say, no, you know what, Kevin, we're not going to go that direction. That's an acceptable approach. And as the business owner, I have that ability. But to deny Kevin that ability I lose, right? As the business owner, I lose. One of the popular leaders on the online community, Kevin V, he talks about this all the time. He talks about how leaders, they look at the resource and they say, well, I'm expecting you to look at this company like I look at this company. You can't expect that. You own the company. It's your company. You're not going to expect your resource to look at it the same way. So you have to have that ability to bring your ego out of the picture and bring yourself and mentor to the people that responded to you.
Have you had any role models, any mentors who help you shape your career journey over the years?
Yeah. There's been a couple. I would say one of my mentors now is actually a client that I do a lot of subcontracting. So for bigger roles, I will subcontract. So I'll join another consulting firm and they will sub me into their role. This one particular person that I'm currently working for, she has been a very big mentor for me. And she's been guiding me in how to better operate. I watch, sometimes mentoring isn't, Kevin talking to Tony. Sometimes mentor is Tony watching what Kevin does in certain situations. You understand where I'm going? So mentoring doesn't have to be a formalized version of mentoring. I watch how this person, I have this in my head. Client said no. Okay, we're on a Zoom call. I'm getting close. I'm getting my stuff together. I'm cleaning up my desk. I'm like, all right, we're going to roll out of this. And she's like, can I just ask you one question? Person's like, yeah, okay. You can see, person's looking at the why. She's like, why? And that why turned it around. Because once she had the why, she could answer and address the why. And in my head, I'm like, all right, door's closed. Let's move on. And within 20 minutes, she took a no to a yes. So, that's my style of mentor. I appreciate that. I also had another mentor when I first started. I was very nervous. I'm like, what am I doing? How do I start a business? And what this person said to me, he just said to me, here's what I want you to do. And I use this for anybody that I see starting a business. Do one thing every day for the business. That's all you got to do. Just one. Whether it be an email, a phone call, a strategy, just do one thing every day. And then do whatever the heck you want the rest of the day. And I did that. And one turned into two turned into three turned. So that mentor knew exactly what he was telling me to do because he saw me on the edge. It looked like this. It looked huge. And he's like, well, when you look at it there, it's scary. But if you break it down into the little pieces, it's not as scary. So two people that I can quote at mentoring. But in all honesty, Kev, most people I meet, you've mentored me. You have a personality that I love. Your personality is very
I appreciate it. Thank you.
easygoing and nice, and you meet you and you don't say business guy, you say nice guy, and that works to me. That's a characteristic that I want to embody because I jump in and I'm like, okay, business Tony. And it's like, no, just be Tony. When you meet Kevin the guy, and then Kevin starts talking about what he does, and now you understand Kevin the business. But your first approach with Kevin is Kevin the man, and I like that. So I get mentoring from a lot of different people.
Key career lessons. If there is one key career lesson that you learned the hard way, what would it be that you can share with us?
Okay, and let me tell you something. I still struggle with this every day. Every client, every contract, I struggle with. Know your net worth. Do not sell yourself short. I do it all the time. I smack myself in the head every time I do it, and it's still a learning for me. There are those who know their net value very well, and there's those like me that don't. Know it. Know who you are. And then work with people who value what you have to offer. That's the biggest thing I could say. Because when you work with people who value you, work is no longer work. It's fun. You and I do podcasts together. They're fun. They're not work. I walk away delighted. I go back and I look at some of our podcasts. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time. Right? That's not work to me. Now, does it take work? Oh, sure as heck does. You know how hard this is. You got the editing, you got the setting up, you got the strategy. But when you work with people who see your value, it's not work anymore. So, know your value and make sure you work with people who understand that and value that. I can't hear you. I can't hear. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Hear me now, no?
Now I can.
All right, sounds good. Okay. Very good.
Nope,
Is
you
there
broke
a-
out again. Nope, go ahead. You're good.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, let's see. Let's be sure of it is working. All right,
Yep.
looks like I'm all set. Okay, sounds good. If you had a chance to go back history, personally or historically, to what time period would you like to go back and why?
Is this personal or business wise? Could be anything, any reason.
Anything
Doesn't
goes.
matter.
It's really up to
Okay.
you. Yes.
Okay. I'll be honest with you. It's gonna sound weird, but no conversation you and I ever have really go down the natural path. I'd like to go back to the 50s. The 50s. My parents grew up in the 50s,
Mhm.
and the music of that era, the cars of that. I was a car guy. I grew up uh, tinkering with cars. Most of the cars I dealt with were the 50s, 60s cars. I liked that style. Um, I liked how people were during those times. There was a level of innocence during those times that I kind of gravitate towards between the music and the cars and stuff. So I think I would love to go back to the 50s and you know so there are people out there going, "Are you crazy? That was a crazy time." But I don't know.
50s,
I
yes.
just felt an affinity, from a childhood,
Mhm.
and it could be the way my parents played 50s music. I was always listening to it. But like today, when I watch a movie about the 50s, there's a draw for me. There's a draw to me to say that looked like a very fun time.
Okay, well, is there a book, a movie, a show that help you shape your career perspective over the years?
Career, book, movie, or a show? Hmm. I'd say they more or less shaped me from a personal standpoint, and I think that personal standpoint would have. So there was a movie called Powder, Powder,
Okay.
um, and it struck me because uh, the movie had a person who was struck by lightning. The person had a very pale way about them, so was constantly being picked on by others because of his look. And then, based off because he was struck by lightning, but he also had additional powers where he could read people's feelings and emotions and stuff. So that movie struck me because of the character and how much he endured, and yet had this power but never abused the power. He had the power and would use it more to help people. So I think that type of mindset grew me personally and then professionally in the same matter of how I want to treat people, how I want people to treat me. Um, I've also been in my personal life on spiritual journey. I've read spiritual books. One of
Mhm.
my biggest starting books in my spiritual journey was The Case for Faith. It was written by a author called Lee Strobel. And the way he approached his writing style and the way he approached it, it spoke to my heart and it got me back on my track for my spiritual journey. So I would say The Powder, the movie, and The Case for Faith by Lee Strobel for a book. I told you I'm not the norm. I'm not going to have some book that, War and Peace was the book I use and, how to start your business in 50 days. It's just, I don't have that journey. My business career is from treating people and doing what is right and trying to help people. That's how my business career starts, man. I don't have the normal entrepreneurial journey.
Is there any question that you had expected me to ask you, but I didn't ask you?
Oh, no, you're good at what you do, man. No,
So
no,
far,
I
so
don't.
good.
Actually, you threw questions at me that I was not anticipating, and I really like those questions because you get to know the person on a more different level, right? You know,
Yes.
it's the
Yes.
American Business Podcast. I get it, but how do I know American businessmen if I don't talk to them in a different level, right? If you had Amazon in front of you, you would make the same approach. You would be talking to Jeff in any way differently. You'd be asking him these questions and trying to get to know more about Jeff the man and
Yes.
Jeff the leader. So
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
no, it
Well,
was questions you asked me that I wasn't expecting.
okay. All right. So, we have a little tradition in the American Business Podcast. I have a question for you coming from our previous guest. I'll ask you that question, and
Okay.
after that, I'll ask you to leave me a question in this episode, and I'll ask that question to our coming guest.
Okay.
And the question from our previous guest is, what is the latest business relationship that you built that helped your business, and how intentional you were when you were building that business relationship?
Interesting. Okay. So one of the latest business. Okay. Well, this is a client that I've had for a while. The latest is the latest of the contract. So I met someone in a networking event. That person referred me over to one of their clients, and I did some work for that client. And it's been 3 to 4 years now, and I am continuing to do work for that client. And it's based off of all the stuff that we've talked about. One step at a time. Small work here leads to another work, leads to something else, leads to something else. What I found interesting about this particular thing was the person who made the connection knew I knew something about the technology being sought, but he wasn't sure, right? So it was making a recommendation on a tech stack that he thought I knew, but then still felt I knew enough that I could carry it across. And if I wasn't, I would be more than honest and say that. You understand what I'm going? In other words, it was about someone who knew I knew a level, but not to the full level. So it was a recommendation on the technologies, but also about recommending me as a person, that person could then trust to know that I'm not going to steer their client in the wrong direction.
Okay, so what question you would like to leave with me here today for the coming guest in the American Business Podcast?
Okay. Tell me one thing you do every day to prepare for your day.
Okay, that's a great question. We'll make sure to ask that. In this episode in the American Business Podcast, is there any question you would like to ask me?
Well, yeah. Where are you taking the American Business Podcast? It's growing, and I love what I'm seeing. But where is Kevin going with this? What's Kevin's plan for this?
Yes. Thank you for this question. Well, the American Business Podcast is becoming an independent media platform, a business platform. So I can say just a media platform. We also have the business aspects on the podcast because we are becoming a business community, and we are also creating some business opportunities with our business services. That's also something that's growing with sponsorships, advertising. We started ABP $1 billion billboard. There's a 24 hours podcast billboard running in our podcast on YouTube, so that we are also promoting businesses and brands. So it is becoming an American media and business platform. That's where we are going, and it's really shaped by the American business community with the feedback, with the request. So even though we are young as the American Business Podcast, we are celebrating our anniversary this Friday, actually. So it's going to be 1 year.
Really? Oh, that's great.
Yeah, appreciate it. So within this 1 year, it just help us shape the American Business Podcast as its content, as well as the American business communities. We also get feedback from international business communities as well, because we have a large audience also in internationally, even though North America and specifically the US is our home, and majority of our audience from the US. So that all help us shape it. So we are becoming, and we will be really even better at it as an independent media platform and a American business platform. That's
I like that.
where we are going.
I like that because too many podcasts are about the person. It's more of a me thing, right? And that's not where you're heading. Yours is about growing business, and I love that, right? Because
Yes.
podcasts you can be very
True.
egocentric.
Yeah,
very
it could be Kevin's business podcast.
Correct.
Could be very well so, right? But we didn't
100%.
design it that way. Yes, this is an institution, an organization itself. So it's a business itself, right? In a way.
But you're unique in that way, though.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, we noticed that. Yes.
Yeah, because just the way your format goes, your format isn't about you. Your format's about me.
Correct.
You're asking me the questions.
Yes,
You
the
want to know
American
more about
business.
me. Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And
My
I
job,
like that.
yes, yes, absolutely. Our job in the American Business Podcast is to support, promote, and uplift American business.
Right.
So today we are with you. It's also our job to support you, promote you, and uplift you. At the same time, simultaneously, we are also learning from you.
Right.
The content, the insights that you are sharing is educational, and we are also learning from each other. So these two things happen at the same time. So supporting the American business, supporting, uplifting, and promoting, and at the same time learning, creating this educational, informative environment in the American Business Podcast. So these two happen. And when we first started, it was only to create the educational environment. That was the goal. But then quickly promoting, supporting, and uplifting American business just became part of the mission as well. So right now we are running both missions at the same time, which is great. I mean, it's just we are the
Yeah.
voice of American business.
It's nice
That's who we are.
how it came about naturally for you.
Yes,
Right? I mean,
yes,
it was a natural progression of what you were doing. You were asking, all of a sudden you're realizing, well, I could help these people if this, and this. So let's do that. And I like that approach because I think it's a needed approach, right? We're both businessmen. I'm a tiny small entrepreneur. I know how hard you have to grind every day, and we don't have this type of resource. We don't have these type of things afforded to us that we get for free, right? I can come to your show. This isn't costing me a dime. It's just costing me my time. It doesn't, it's your time. So I like that ability to be able to promote a business in the way that you're promoting it and giving people that ability to promote themselves where they wouldn't have that type of opportunity. So
absolutely.
congratulations to you. I think you're
Appreciate
doing a
it. Thank you.
fantastic job. And I look
Thank
forward
you
to
for your
seeing
support.
more of these.
Absolutely, more to come. Our pipeline in terms of what else is coming is actually pretty exciting and motivational for us, and we'll have some other announcements coming up in the American Business Podcast in coming weeks, and we'll keep
Perfect.
growing the platform as a media platform, as a business platform. So it's a work in progress. I truly appreciate your support.
Yeah, well, glad to be part of it.
Thank you. And for those who like to be in touch with you and learn more about your organization and get this conversation going, what is the best way for our audience to be in touch with you?
Through my email address would be the best way. That's the easiest way. Lucidi@ltechconsulting.com.
Okay, great. Well, Anthony, thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule, and thank you for sharing your professional insights and professional wisdom with us in the American Business Podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. I have a great time as always.
As always, and looking forward to seeing you in our joint podcast, Two Guys, All Things Tech. I'm looking forward to continue our debating.
Yep.
It's a completely
Me
different
too.
format. Our audience know I mentioned that
Yep.
before in previous episodes. So if you like to see me debating, then please watch Two Guys, All Things Tech podcast. And that's also a great podcast that I and Anthony, we co-host together. We shape the content together. So I hope you also join us in that podcast as well. Anthony, thank you so much again for being with us.
Thanks,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Pleasure is all mine. And to our audience and to our listeners, thank you very much for listening and watching the American Business Podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business, and we'll continue bringing you these informative and educational conversations for business. Please stay in touch and stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break. Thank you. Would you like to listen to music during your work time? We are here to help. We created ABP Office Music Pod, powered by the American Business Podcast. We created it for you, the working professional. In ABP Office Music Pod, you can listen to jazz, lo-fi, smooth jazz, classic music, and more. You can stay energetic and positive with the music coming from ABP Office Music Pod, powered by the American Business Podcast. Join us, scan this QR code, and enjoy the music, office music, during your work time. As I said, it is for you, the working professional. And ABP Office Music Pod is right in the American Business Podcast, and it is part of the American Business Podcast in the same YouTube channel. There is more coming in the American Business Podcast, and this is one of them. Thank you very much for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Reddit. Do you know the biggest challenge nowadays for American small businesses? That is visibility. That's why we partner with Reddit for Business. Reddit has more than 400 million weekly visitors. Furthermore, Reddit is reliable. Reddit is the number one source for real reviews on products, services, and brands. There is a promotion going on. When you spend $500, you'll get $500 in ad credit from Reddit. True story. I am a Reddit user. Anytime I need feedback or review for a product or service, I go to Reddit. I get the real answers, real feedback from real people, from Reddit communities. Scan this QR code and sign up for Reddit advertising for your business. Get the visibility for your company, your products and services. Scan the QR code and sign up today. Thank you for your support. Support for the show comes from Yelp. You know, I've been talking to more than 100 business owners in the American Business Podcast. Do you know the biggest problem for small businesses nowadays? It is visibility. That is why you should sign up and list your business on Yelp for Business. I have the QR code on the screen, and when you scan the QR code, the form will show up on your screen and you can sign up on the registration form. It comes with free trial with no obligation. Make it easy for your customers to find you. Do you know there are more than 70 million customers visiting Yelp website looking for services from businesses just like yours? Restaurants, home services, professional services, and many other businesses are being searched on Yelp on daily basis. That's a great opportunity. If you list your business on Yelp, you'll be findable, searchable, and you'll be visible. When you are visible, when your customers are able to find you, you're in business. You can get opportunities, you can get leads, you can build a healthy and profitable pipeline. Consider Yelp for Business. Scan the QR code, sign up, and start your free trial. It comes with free trial. Very comfortable, no obligation. List your business and start getting the results and enjoy the benefits of Yelp Business. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Office Virtual Offices. Office is offering you more than 600 different locations in the US. It is $99 a month. This includes prestigious business address, professional live call answering, personalized call transferring, business phone number, local phone number, professional mail services, voicemail converted to email. I have the QR code on the screen. You can sign up for Office today. Office is offering you hundreds of locations in the US that you can pick, any of them that you like. And you can start having your virtual office today. Please scan the QR code and start using Office Virtual Offices today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from DocuSign. If you are signing vendor contracts and customer contracts very often, just like I do on daily basis, consider DocuSign. DocuSign is the latest modern digital and electronic signature software system. Furthermore, you can manage your vendor contracts, customer contracts, NDAs, and any other commercial contracts on DocuSign digitally with no need of local installation and no need of keeping your documents on your laptop or your mobile device. Furthermore, with the latest technology of DocuSign, it has intelligent agreement management. It recognizes your repeated documents and creates contracts automatically and makes things easier for you. Do you know how many users are there for the DocuSign system? More than 1 billion users. There are many companies using DocuSign and trust DocuSign for electronic and digital signature. True story. I also use DocuSign on daily basis and it works smoothly. Highly recommended. You see the QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, you fill up the form to start your free trial and join the DocuSign user community. Enjoy your DocuSign experience, and I hope you sign up today. I have the QR code on the screen. Thank you very much, and enjoy the experience. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Invicta Watches. Invicta Watches are known for their stylish design for men, women, as well as for unisex watches. When you scan the QR code on the screen, it will take to their online store and you can start shopping right away. When you go to the Invicta store website, you'll see watches in different collections for men, for women, different colors, different designs, as well as different sizes. There are hundreds of watches that you can see and you can pick from. Because it's end of the year, you'll also enjoy the benefits of their end of the year promotions and discounts. True story, I am an Invicta fan. I've been using Invicta for many years. I have more than 10 Invicta watches in my wardrobe. This is one of them that I like. The style is pretty cool. I use these pretty much weekly basis. I have another one that I use on my wrist. This one is pretty cool. This one is called Shutter. I can change the face just by turning the buttons, and I can have different style of watches pretty much every day. Because it's pretty business looking, I can actually wear this with my business outfit as well. Please scan the QR code and start shopping today. I'm sure you'll like Invicta watches. They have great styles and different colors as well as different technologies such as quartz, mechanical, automatic, and other watches are also available for your liking and for your choice. Please scan the QR code and start shopping today. Thank you very much for your support. It is time to sign up for the online monthly networking event. Networking and podcasting together. It is called Connection America Business Alliance, partnered and powered by the American Business Podcast. During this unique business networking event, you'll be able to meet with other business professionals. At the same time, you will be in the American Business Podcast in front of thousands of business-minded YouTube subscribers, viewers, and listeners of the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. Connection America online monthly networking events are interactive. You'll be able to meet with other seasoned business professionals, and at the same time, you'll be able to interact with viewers and audience. That's a unique event. It is because it's podcasting plus networking. If you are in business, you should be networking. And if you're not networking, you are losing business every single day. That is why we created online monthly networking event called Connection America Business Alliance, CABA in short. Scan this QR code and sign up today. When you scan the QR code, you'll see the list of coming monthly online networking events. Pick the one that works for you and sign up. We have limited seating, and today is the great day to sign up for online business networking event. Networking plus podcasting. That is a unique online business networking opportunity. You can introduce yourself, your products and services, and you'll be able to network with other business professionals live on the American Business Podcast. Scan the QR code and sign up today. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being with me in the American Business Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest in the American Business Podcast, please send us an email, guestbooking@americanpodcast.tv. If you'd like to sponsor ABP, if you'd like to advertise in our podcast episodes, please send us an email, growyourbusiness@americanpodcast.tv. You can advertise your company, your products, your services, and your brands in the American Business Podcast. Please send us an email, growyourbusiness@americanpodcast.tv. You can also visit our website, americanpodcast.tv, to learn more about the American Business Podcast, as well as our coming streaming schedule. Now you can have your branded company podcast within the American Business Podcast Network. We call it Business Podcasting as a Service, PaaS. If you're interested in starting your business podcast in the American Business Podcast Network, please send us an email, paas@americanpodcast.tv. As part of our international expansion, we started international podcast editions. When you scan this QR code, it'll take you to our YouTube page. And please go to the podcast section in our YouTube page and you'll see our international podcast editions. They are ABP Espanol, ABP German, ABP French, ABP Hindi, ABP Portuguese, and ABP Turk that you can listen to American Business Podcasts in 6 different foreign languages. Okay, well, we are in the process of increasing our presence in social media. If you're on LinkedIn, please scan this QR code and subscribe, follow us on LinkedIn. If you're on TikTok, please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our TikTok page. Please subscribe. Please follow us. If you are on Instagram, please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our Instagram page and please subscribe. If you are on Facebook, we'll also appreciate your help and support. Please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our Facebook page and please follow us. And finally, we are on IMDb next to other reputable media productions. Please scan this QR code, go to our IMDb page, and please rate us on IMDb. We'll truly appreciate your help and support. I'd like to thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. I'm looking forward to seeing you in coming the American Business Podcast episodes. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. The American Business Podcast, America's fastest growing educational business podcast network in this age of AI. Thank you very much for your help and looking forward to seeing you. Thank you.